What had you been looking forward to the most to this trip to Japan before you came? What has struck you the most in Japan? Has that image you had before you came to Japan changed since you came to Japan? あれ結構喋れますね。
いいえ。
すごい。Hello everyone, how you guys? ご皆さんご機嫌いかがでしょうか。今日も可能性無限大。This is タロサックということで、今日の動画では日本に来て日本人の印象は変わった？来日外国人はこう感じていたというテーマでやっていきたいと思います。僕実は普段オーストラリアに住んでいるといつもこの動画を見てくれている人は認識されていると思うんですが、住んでるのは住んでるんですけど、結構実は日本にも滞在してまして、このところすごく思うのが円安の影響なのか何なのかちょっとよくわからないんですけど、なんか日々外国人観光客増えてるじゃないですか。この前築地行って食べ歩きするところ行ったんですけど、観光地っていうのもあると思うんですけど、本当に半分以上外国人ですよ。日本いるのに海外来たような感じで、本当にシドニーのフィッシュマーケットより外国人多いんじゃないかみたいなね、そんな風に感じたんですけど、とはいえこうやって日本に外国人が来てくれてエンジョイしてくれてるっていうのは本当に嬉しいことだと思います。そしてやっぱり日本って島国というところだけあって、やっぱり文化的に独特なところがある。これは世界的にもよく知られているところであります。海外から来るこの観光客の皆さんはもともとその日本という国だけでなく、私たち日本人に対してどういう固定概念というか印象を持ってこの国に来ているのか、そして実際に来てみて日本人と交流してみてその印象は変わったのか、日本人に対してどんな印象を今持っているのか、ここについてですね、今日はここ東京に来られている来日観光客にズバリインタビューしていきたいと思います。皆さん日本人をどう見ているのでしょうか。早速聞いていきましょう。僕のチャンネルでは様々なトピックに関する外国人のインタビュー動画ですとか英語学習に関するコンテンツを毎週配信してます。見るだけで頭の中がグローバル化すること間違いなし。面白いと思ってもらえた方はチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。ということで今日も早速いきましょう。Thank you very much for your help. What country are you from?
I'm from the United States.
United States. So before we started filming, I was talking to him for like maybe a minute and I could already hear your accent.
Yeah.
So how long are you staying in Japan on this trip?
So I'll be here officially about 13 days,
Okay.
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks.
So, yeah.
That's long enough, I guess.
Not enough, but it's enough to get my feet wet. So.
Yeah, I think you got to come back another time, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
What had you been looking forward to the most to this trip to Japan?
Seeing like the history here and the temples, shrines, that was definitely something that was high on my to-do list, I guess.
Okay.
I was in Asakusa a couple days ago, and it was awesome.
That's cool as
Yeah, cool experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. To be honest, it's pretty hard to find someone who says, historical things before food.
Oh,
So, yeah. Okay, here you are. How about this question? What has shocked you the most since you came to Japan?
How efficient everything is, and I guess food prep too.
Food prep?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Like everything is nice and perfectly displayed. It's not in America. It's kind of like you just toss stuff together and you're like, all right, they'll eat it.
So how efficient everything is in Japan. So my main question is going to be like this. It depends on the person, but basically people's personalities and all that's quite different from Japanese and American. Mm-hmm. And I guess you had some sort of image about Japanese people before you came to Japan, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. What sort of image did you have about us before you came to Japan?
Sense of respect is really high.
Yeah.
Kind of keep mostly to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's the majority of it, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So did you have any chance to interact with Japanese so far?
I've had a couple, yeah.
Yeah?
Mostly I've kind of stuck to myself for the most part and exploring, but I've had one or two here and there.
Okay,
So.
all right. So now the last question is going to be like this. Has that image you had before you came to Japan changed since you came to Japan?
I wouldn't say the mostly keep to yourself maybe has changed here and there, but I mean, like you said, it's up to personality wise for most people, but I would say it's mostly generally like
Equal
the
to
same.
the image, yeah? So people apply, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a couple people that have been here before come back and tell me how it is. So
Oh, really?
I would say it's semi-accurate to how it actually is.
All right. Okay, that's good to hear. All right, so what's your plan for the next?
I'll be Shibuya, Shinjuku area for the next till Sunday afternoon, and then I'll be heading down to Osaka.
All right. It's going to be great experience, I believe, and I hope so. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time in Japan.
Thank you.
What country are you from?
Norway.
Norway. Okay, is this the first time that you came to Japan?
No, this is my third time, actually.
Third time. Okay, so how many days have you been so far this time?
I came yesterday, so just one.
Oh, welcome. Okay, welcome back. Okay, you've been here for 3 times. That means you must love Japan.
Yes, I like Japan quite much.
Okay. Do you speak Japanese?
ちょっとだけ。
ちょっとhow come?
自学する。
自学してる。
はい。
What made you interested in Japan that much?
はい。漢字が好きですか？
漢字が好き？
はい。
なんで？
面白いと思います。
漢字大嫌い。Too difficult. You know, when we are in school, we have to study so much kanji, and like because we are forced to do it. Well, some people like it, but I'm not a big fan of it, you know, to be honest.
そうですか。
難しくないですか？
難しいですけど、面白い。
俺結構喋れますね。
いいえ。
いやすごい結構思ったより全然喋れる。びっくりした。わかりました。So, including the second time and the first time staying in Japan, since you came to Japan, what has struck you the most? Like, what surprised you the most in Japan?
No trash cans?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's pretty hard, eh? Apart from that?
I thought there would be like maybe more like anime stuff, and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Unless you go to Akihabara.
Yeah. But that's actually quite a nice surprise as well, I think. It's quite quiet and it's quite like zen, I think. It's a bit similar to Norway in that regard. It's really quiet in Norway as well.
Okay, yeah,
I like that.
see.
I like that.
All right, yeah. I mean, Japan and Norway are quite far, but is there any Japanese cultures in Norway? Like animes and stuff are big there?
Yes, I would say so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's gotten more popular actually.
Oh, it's getting more popular.
Yeah, it's getting more popular, and
Like obviously One Pieces and stuff.
yeah, One Piece and
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. And,
Attack on Titan, yes.
yeah. So there's like more Japanese food.
In Norway.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Nowadays.
Okay.
はい、居酒屋。
本当に？
はい。
居酒屋 in Norway. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Yeah. Have you tried any izakaya or Japanese restaurants? Well, obviously you have. Yeah. Do you enjoy Japanese food?
Yes.
What's your favorite?
My favorite. 焼肉。
Yakiniku.
はい。
You like Japanese, eh? We love yakiniku and sushi. Obviously.
寿司。
I'm a very typical person. So.
サーモンはノルウェー。
サーモンね、ノーウェイすごいポピュラーで。ジャパニーズサーモンも結構good ね。
はい。
はい、わかりました。Okay, so the main question I want to ask you about the personality of Japanese people. You know, even the second time, first times before you came to Japan, you have some sort of image about Japanese people, right? So, what do you think of the image did you have about Japanese before you came to Japan?
Kind of quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, but also very respectful.
Okay.
I think.
In total, how many days have you stayed in Japan, like including all this visit?
40.
40 days.
はい。
So you must have interacted with Japanese people quite a lot, I guess.
はい。
Yeah. Where do you find like Japanese people? Where do you speak to Japanese people? Like in the bars and stuff, or?
はい。温泉。
温泉。温泉入ってて。So Japanese people speak to you?
いや前回おばあさん
本当？
私に話します。
おばあさんでも no Japanese, no English. So just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So we ended up talking for like half an hour actually, and at that point I couldn't speak that much Japanese, but like ちょっとだけ。
Oh, okay. So with the gestures
Yeah.
and stuff. Okay. So well, apart from that, I bet you spoke to Japanese people quite a lot. So my last question is, has that image you had about Japanese people changed since you came to Japan? After you spent 40 days in Japan?
A little. I thought they were even more reserved than they were. So I thought they were like more talkative actually.
Oh, you thought they were quite shy before,
hi.
but actually they talk to you and friendly.
優しい。
優しい人. What's the main difference between Japanese and Norwegian, you think?
Norwegian people are maybe a bit more loud.
Loud?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, but we are like the same kind of shy.
I've heard that generally speaking, Scandinavian people are quite reserved as well. Like
Hi.
the strangers are strangers.
Hi.
You don't talk to people.
No,
Okay.
you don't. You just like stay in your space.
Alright. Sorry, I smashed your comfort zone today.
No, it's okay.
I spoke to you on the street.
大丈夫です。
あ、大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
Okay, that was good time to have a chat with you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your third stay in Japan.
Thank you.
How can I say thank you in your language?
Tusen takk.
Tusen tak. Thank you. What country are you from?
From the United States.
From United States. And how long are you staying in Japan?
I'll be here for about 20 days.
20 days.
Yeah.
I've heard that, in America, it's pretty hard to get like long holidays. Is it easy to get like 3 weeks off for you?
No, it's basically impossible, but
Oh, really?
Just saved up time and just was
Yeah.
able to,
Okay.
plan it out that it worked out. I was able to take, the
Alright.
time.
Because I live in Australia,
Yeah.
and the people in Australia quite taking it, they quite laid back, and it's pretty easy to get like a month off or like even longer,
Oh, wow.
as long as you have the right. But I heard that in the US, it's kind of like similar to Japanese culture, working culture, so it's
Yeah,
pretty hard.
It is hard for sure.
Yeah, so if you say like, hey, I want to get 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, your boss is going to look at you.
Yeah,
Is it like that?
2 weeks is like you're given 2 weeks for most jobs.
Okay.
But it's still, if you're like, I'm going to take the full 2 weeks, they're kind of weird about it. And if you want to push it any further, it goes into sick days, and then
Okay.
kind of like you're going to just like take days against like PTO or
Okay.
whatever. So yeah.
All right, so generally speaking, it's pretty hard to
Yeah,
get long
sure.
holiday. Since you arrived in Japan, I think before we started filming, you said you've been here already a couple of days.
Yep.
What has struck you the most in Japan?
Just how beautiful it is, and just how welcoming everyone is, and
Okay.
it's just a nice. It's nice to be in a city where you can walk around and it's safe and clean, and all the food's incredible, and
Yeah.
so everything has just been amazing.
Do you feel it's safe?
I mean, I live in Philadelphia, so yeah, it's definitely safe.
So you don't feel any danger
Not
when
at
you're
all.
walking around? In this couple of days, did you have any chance to interact with Japanese people?
Yeah, I spent some time at some bars,
Oh, right.
get some food, and I have a friend who lives here, so he speaks Japanese, so
Okay.
he was kind of helping with some of the interactions, so it's been very enjoyable so
Oh,
far.
so like when you went to the bar, you spoke to some Japanese people. And,
Yeah, exactly, and he kind of he did all of the communication, and I just kind of chime in as much as I could that they would understand. They were pretty understanding of what I was saying. I was asking where I was from,
Yeah.
and just stuff like that, so it was good.
I am pretty sure you had some sort of image about Japanese people before you came to Japan. What sort of image did you have about Japanese?
That everyone's very very nice, pretty kind of put together, and kind of, I wouldn't say like more serious than Americans, but like definitely there's a culture of like working hard and then kind of relaxing, which I guess is similar to American ways, but
Has that image changed since you came to Japan?
so far not really. I think it's kind of I think everyone's very friendly, and kind of what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been enjoying so far?
Oh yeah, it's been amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure enjoy the day.
Appreciate it.
What country are you from?
Well, I would say maybe Sweden because I was born there. However, every single part of my family has immigrated to another country each generation, so I'm very mixed.
Okay. So so when someone asks you where you're from, like basically you don't really know where you're from.
Yeah, no, it's very hard to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really consider a place here on Earth my home, sadly.
So how do you say you're from everywhere?
I'm a bit from everywhere, yeah.
That's cool. Okay, I've been doing this job a bit more than 4 years, and I interviewed so many people from everywhere. But this is the first time I saw someone from everywhere.
Yeah.
This is cool. Okay, what's your first language name?
I would say it's a mix between English and Swedish, probably.
Okay, English and Swedish. And Japanese?
I speak a little bit of Japanese.
Oh, what? You do?
はい
What do you mean? ちょっとなんで?
ちょっと。I started studying Japanese when I was 13 years old. I went to university in Sweden to learn it because I was supposed to move to Tokyo, but then the pandemic hit, so I never got to move here.
What the heck? I just spoke to a girl from Norway, and she speaks Japanese as well. What's going on today in Tokyo? So you said you were supposed to move to Tokyo. What was the reason? You like Japan or?
I really like Japan. I enjoy Japanese culture. It's something I've also studied more now that I'm older. I've always had a big fascination with it. I think it all started from Totoro.
Totoro,
はい。
ジブリの。
Hi, Ghibli.
Yeah, that's from when I was really young.
Yeah.
Okay, so you like a Ghibli movie.
Hi.
How do you call it? Ghibli?
Ghibli.
Ghibli. Okay. Oh well, thanks to Hayao Miyazaki, yeah? All right. So how long are you staying in Japan?
I've actually just been here for 20 days. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, so you spent 20 days already?
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be sad, but it's actually good for an interview because you already spent 20 days.
Yeah.
So this is the first time in Japan?
It's my first time, yeah.
Okay, how was it?
I loved it.
You loved it?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. You gotta come back.
I'm definitely gonna come back.
So you're from everywhere, but where are you going back?
I'm going back to Sweden.
Okay,
That's
so
where
you
I
live in
currently
Sweden.
live. Yeah, currently, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have so many things that I want to ask, but what had you been looking forward to the most to this trip to Japan before you came?
Probably just seeing everything change between day and night.
Oh.
Because I feel like it's so drastic here in Japan.
Yeah,
I feel like here during the day, Yogi Park, like it's so calm and it's so nice. Even here in the middle of Tokyo, it's so quiet, which I find extremely interesting. But then the second it gets dark, like you go to Kabukicho and Shinjuku, Shibuya, and it's just filled with people.
Yes.
And then the additional shift of when the last train goes, and it just becomes so much more crazy here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's so interesting seeing, how Europeans mainly portray Japanese people as so quiet and timid and very just small and doesn't take up much space. But then the second it gets dark,
Yeah.
it's like a party everywhere.
That's so true. It's interesting. That's great point because people think that Japan's well organized, everything's so sharp. Daytime, it's cool as.
Yes.
But if you go out nighttime in Tokyo, sometimes it's crazy as.
Yes, it's very, very crazy.
It's crazier than anyone else, I guess. Yeah.
Very much so.
That's so true. So since you came to Japan, I'll ask you, what has struck you the most?
Even though I don't look Japanese, people still speak Japanese to me.
Oh, really?
And I think that's very nice. I think that's very fun.
Oh, very fun.
I think it's very fun.
Adventurous, isn't it?
It's very adventurous,
Yeah.
yes. I'm actually here with my dad, and he does not speak any Japanese at all, so he thinks it's a bit annoying.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's very nice, and I think it's fun. I think it's also a good experience for people who are so used to thinking that everyone should be speaking English.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Especially aiming towards American people. I've heard a lot of American people being quite upset or even angry that Japanese people don't speak English to them. But I feel like people have to learn and understand that not every single country can speak English.
Yeah, that's so true. The grammars and everything are too different for us, I guess.
Very different. It's
Yeah.
very, very different from the Japanese language and the English language. Completely different language groups. It's
Yeah.
way harder for Japanese people to learn it.
Great point. I think people who are watching this are like, yes, this girl knows what to say. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, I need to ask you. So this is a main thing of this video. Before you came to Japan, well, you liked Japan, you know Totoro, and I guess you had some sort of image about Japanese people.
Yeah.
What sort of image did you have about Japanese before you came to Japan?
Before I came to Japan, I would say my image of Japanese people were quite correct. That they are indeed quite timid and all that. But the second it does get dark, they do get kind of party-esque. I always kind of knew that Japanese people can sometimes tend to be a bit fake towards you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that everyone is so nice all the time.
That's our culture.
Yeah, it's the culture, yeah.
本音と建前 we say in
はい
Japanese.
はい
はい、わかります?
わかった。
そう。Well, you're here with your dad, but
Yeah.
had you had a chance to interact with Japanese people?
Oh yes, very much so.
Oh, really?
Even though me and my dad went here together, we kind of went our separate ways.
Oh, really?
He went to Osaka for 10 days, so I was
Okay.
alone here in Tokyo for a long while as well.
Oh, well, that's good though, because you sometimes need to your own time, even in a foreign country,
Yeah.
so you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. So where do you speak to Japanese?
Either at izakaya.
Izakaya?
Izakaya,
Like
はい
bars and izakaya?
はい、居酒屋。クラブ。
あ、クラブも
クラブ、はい。
一人ですごいすごいそうそう Japanese guys が Hey, where are you from? みたいな
ナンパ、はい。
ナンパして
ナンパ、はい。
それどう How do you feel about it?
Because I'm mainly from Europe, I'm
Yeah.
quite used to guys always approaching you
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
all that stuff. But I feel like ナンパ it's めっちゃ怖いね。
めっちゃ怖い
怖い、はい。
なんで
stalk, like they stalk you around, they
too
follow
much.
you. Hi, it's too much, yeah. I
なるほどね
find it a bit scary.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a lot of Japanese friends who live here in Tokyo.
Okay, okay.
So I've been hanging out with them mainly when I've been out at night.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of Japanese guy friends.
Yeah,
So,
I see.
so usually I'm just like, oh, it's my boyfriend. And then they're like, oh, ごめんなさい, and they walk away.
So you didn't find any nice nice guy that you want to hang out with from Nampa guys?
No.
Unfortunately not.
No.
Okay, unsuccessful. Okay, the main question. You had that image about Japanese before you came to Japan. Has that image changed after you came to Japan?
I think a little bit, yes.
Oh yeah? What did you find?
I think that even though I am very well educated about Japanese culture and the people here and all that stuff, I got very surprised when this very moment I was sitting at an izakaya with a bunch of friends. And I met this new girl, Rena-chan was her name.
Okay, Lena-chan.
She was very nice, very lovely, and we were talking like normal. And then all of a sudden another guy comes into the izakaya. And it's a mutual friend, a friend of her boyfriend. She had never met him before.
Okay.
And when she met me for the first time, had never met me either. She was very nice, very bubbly, but the second he came in, she immediately went, "Hajimemashite." Like she became so polite, even though she was so drunk.
Yeah, okay.
And I found that so interesting that even though she was so drunk and we were partying and we were laughing and we were loud, the second someone she did not know entered the izakaya, she immediately switched just like that.
Okay, so that's really interesting. That could be her personality, but on the other hand, that's also a Japanese culture.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you
very
have to
Japanese culture.
change the way to react, way to speak, way to react, way to behave in front of the person who you meet for the first time. It's different from Sweden.
A little bit, but I also think because Sweden is such a small country, I don't really expect people to know a lot about Swedish culture or Swedish people. But Sweden and Japan is extremely similar,
Oh yeah?
especially like the people and the way they behave. It's extremely similar.
Really?
It's so similar.
Did you know that? I didn't know that. I know that strangers are strangers in Sweden, like very strangers.
Yeah,
right?
We like to keep our distance between people.
Yeah.
And we also have certain parts of the escalator that we stand on and all that stuff. And we also line up nicely like Japanese people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very organized country.
It's
I've
very,
heard.
very organized, yeah. So it's very similar to Japan.
Welcome to the second home.
Thank you.
Okay, ありがとうございます。いえいえ。Okay, そしたら I think you wants to come back again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, what do you want to do next?
Hokkaido.
北海道ね。
北海道.
Yeah, I've been there like last year and it was great. So
Yeah, I really want to see the snow there.
I hope you come back soon.
Yeah, I will, definitely.
Alright, how can I say thank you in your language?
タクシミケ.
タクシュミケ。ありがとう。あ
りがとうございます。
ありがとう。はい、ということでここまでですね、日本を楽しむ外国人にですね、日本のこととか日本人の印象についてね、インタビューしてきましたけども、いや楽しかった。結構思っていた通り日本人は礼儀正しい、そして日本人って結構フレンドリーだよねっていうこの印象嬉しいですよね。そして今日出てくれたノルウェー人のお姉さんとスウェーデンのねお姉さん2人とも日本語ちょっと話せるというどういうことですかっていう。ノルウェーのお姉さんなんかはですね、カメラ回ってないところで言ってましたけど、なんかペルソナっていうゲームが好きで、今はですねそれを日本語だけでプレイできるようになるのが目標みたいです。スウェーデンのお姉さんに関してもなんかすごいね、もう話がシャープでしたけど、確かに初対面の人と仲いい人ではこう態度というか話し方とか全く違うっていうね。これはもちろん人によって変わるところはあるのかもしれないですけども、ちょっと文化的なところあるかもしれないですね。言われてみたらこれも一つの独特なカルチャーなのかもしれない。本当に言われて初めて確かにって思うことたくさんありました。このテーマすごくインタビューしてて楽しかったので、また第2弾も撮っていこうかなと思ってます。ぜひ面白かったという方は、次の動画もぜひ見ていただきたいのでチャンネル登録していただけたらと思います。 そしてここまでしっかりこの動画を見てくれた皆さんに大切なお知らせです。タロサックの公式 LINE いつも動画を見てくれてる皆さんに感謝の気持ちを込めて大幅アップデートさせていただきました。英語が聞き取れる魔法のワーク、英語動詞完全攻略、英単語超暗記法、今すぐ使える英語相槌フレーズ150選、超品質日常英会話フレーズ100選、英語の語文系をもう一度分かりやすく、間違うと危険な似てる英単語100選、超現代風瞬間英作文100選、漢詩完全マスター、派生語マスター100選、これらの10冊の僕のオリジナルの電子書籍、過去に開催した LINE フレンド限定の無料ライブコーチングに参加してくれた方にこれプレゼントしていたものなんですが、この度僕の LINE 友達追加してくれた皆さん全員にプレゼントします。この他にもフレーズ集やコミュ力爆上げ法10選など英語学習に役立つこと間違いなしのたくさんの豪華無料特典をお渡ししておりますので、ぜひこれらの特典受け取りたいという方はこの動画の概要欄の一番上にある僕の公式 LINE ですね、こちら来ていただいて友達追加してください。日本人シャイかと思われてると思いきやフレンドリーな印象なんじゃんね。日本って昼の顔と夜の顔がすごく違う印象なんだって。そしてなんであんな綺麗な2人めちゃめちゃ遠いところから日本語勉強しちゃってんのよって。なんだか私見てて楽しかったです、嬉しかったです、嬉しかったって。この動画を見たことでこんなに海外の人と会話をすることで楽しい時間を過ごせるのであれば、僕も私も英語努力して諦めずにこれ習得したい、そう改めて思っているあなたがそこにいるのであれば、見るだけで頭の中グローバル化しちゃったんだよ。最後まで見てくれた皆さんありがとうございます。面白いと思ってもらえた方はチャンネル登録忘れずに、高評価も忘れずに、また次の動画でお会いしましょう。バイフォーナウ。